Good evening. Welcome to the first show of the Veterans Employment Committee of San Mateo County. My name is Sheryl Shaffer. I'm a Veterans Representative with the Employment Development Department in San Mateo, and my job is to get you a job. If you are an unemployed veteran, please come and see us. We have jobs that need to be filled. On my right, I would like to introduce you to Clyde Clark, who's the chairman of the Veterans Employment Committee of San Mateo County, his wife Barbara Clark. On my left is Ira Davis, who's the chairman of our Job Fair Committee, and Dario Brian, who's a personnel recruiter for Accounts on Call in Palo Alto. The Veterans Employment Committee is an alliance of the veteran service organizations within San Mateo County, and Mr. Clark will explain what the VEC is.
For Cheryl, the VEC was formed, or is formed, through the alliance of the Employment Development Department personnel and representatives from the service organizations such as the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the American Legion, Vietnam veterans, and all veteran groups like that comprised to make up a VEC unit. We established our VEC in 1993, and I was the charter chairperson, and I'm finished my last year now as chairperson of San Mateo County VEC.
Clyde, could you please explain what the goals of the VEC are?
The goals of the VEC are basically very simple, just to help veterans get jobs. All the funds that we raise, and like this, we use strictly to help veterans get jobs. We do various things such as provide bus passes, we provide other things and services to veterans. And any way we can help them and help them get a job, that's what we're doing our job.
The VEC is forming linkages with nonprofit groups, county and state agencies to better answer the needs of unemployed veterans within our community. Can you tell us what the VEC, what the purpose of a job fair is?
The purpose of our job fair is mainly to raise funds so that we can fund the benefits for things that we want to do for the veterans. All the money that we take in from our job fair, with the exception of what we have to put out in expenses, we give back to the veterans in helping them obtain jobs.
The Veterans Employment Committee is comprised of veteran service organizations within our county. Could you please tell us what a veteran service organization is, what their purposes are, and what they do within our community?
Veteran service organizations are veterans of different wars, such as the Vietnam War, World War II, Korea. These various veterans groups make up the veterans that belong to those. They're fraternal organizations, and they do a lot of good in the community and all around in the country.
Okay, only veterans are allowed to join these organizations,
That's right.
Is that correct?
You can be eligible for, say, the Veterans of Foreign Wars. They have a certain criteria that you have to do to be eligible. Vietnam veterans, Korean War veterans, Gulf War veterans, they all have their own criteria to be able to join these veterans groups.
They also have auxiliaries within these organizations, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think my wife Barbara could address that issue. She belongs to the auxiliary of the Post 2310 in Rapid City.
Barbara, would you please explain to our audience what that organization does?
In the VFW, the auxiliary consists of women who are wives of veterans, daughters of veterans, nieces of veterans. If there is a son of a veteran, there is a booster club that they can belong to, but they must be a veteran themselves in order to belong to the VFW. But we, as auxiliaries, belong to the VFW through our fathers and husbands. And we support the men in every way we can with the different programs that they have. And I'm sure this is the way it is with all the other veterans service organizations. Most of them do have auxiliaries.
Is being a member of a veteran service organization, is that like a social club? Can you tell me what it is that they do? I'm a member of the American Legion in San Bruno, and we have a lot of social events that we put on within our group.
Well, we socialize, but that's not the main purpose. The main purpose of our auxiliary is to help veterans. We do an awful lot of work at the VA hospitals. We put on bingo and ice cream and cake for the veterans once a month. We have Christmas parties for them. And we work blood banks. We give blood throughout the year. And all these things that we do, we are called programs, and we are under the auspices of the national and then the state and then the district. So we just don't run out to a veterans hospital or run to some blood bank. There is a certain criteria that you follow. And we compete with other districts and other auxiliaries for first and second place in these various projects that we do.
That's wonderful. Can you tell me what some of the goals are besides assisting veterans at the hospitals at the VA hospital in Menlo Park in Palo Alto? The VFW does other things to help veterans within the community.
Yeah. One of the most recent things that I feel very proud of, we had our state president from California come out, and we toured the Veterans Hospital. And they were talking about mainly what we were talking about was what was available to women veterans. And they did do, if a woman comes in with breast cancer, they treated her and if necessary removed the breast, but there was no prosthesis for this. And our state president really was upset by this, and she said, well, can we start a fund or something to make sure that these women don't leave the hospital without a prosthesis? And that has come to pass. And that's one of the things that I feel so very proud of that we have been able to do and it started here at the Palo Alto Veterans Hospital.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's wonderful. The veteran service organizations, if you're a veteran and you're looking to join one of these groups, there's many of them within our county, and we need members and we need people who are willing to be active within these groups. So please join us. We have a lot of fun, and we really try to help the veterans within our community. To my left is Ira Davis, who is the Job Fair Chairman this year. Our Job Fair is going to be March 20th at the American Legion Hall, Post 105 in Redwood City. If you're an unemployed veteran and looking for work, we would like for you to attend this event. We have at least 25 employers have already signed up, and we have some great companies that are going to participate. Ira, could you please explain to me how you became chairman of the VEC Job Fair and how you've come across getting employers to participate in this?
Well, I met you and Clyde and Barbara at the Board of Supervisors when they gave a proclamation for the Korean War Veterans Association, which I accepted, and you invited me to one of your meetings, and I was taken aback by it, and I jumped right in and volunteered my services, as you well know, and I'm pretty good on the telephone, so I get on the telephone, and I call the employers to invite them to the job fair primarily, and I've seen the work firsthand where it's been helpful to help veterans, because all the money we raise is help veterans in our own county. None of the money goes out of the county. And sometimes a veteran will need a little assist with bus passes, as Clyde said before, and we'll provide the bus passes via the state EDD office. And if they need personal protection equipment like steel boots, we had a case where we bought this veteran the steel boots for a job he was on for his personal protection. And we work with all the veterans organizations, but primarily my job is to bring the employers in and get a cross-section of employers so that people can come in and do a job interview right on the spot. And companies like Accounts on Call can do a nice interview in a short order of time, and they don't have to run a big ad in the newspaper and spend a lot of time doing it, and they can meet a lot of people. And we've been very productive, and we've raised a lot of money. This year, Sheryl said we're shooting for 25. We're really shooting for about 45. I think we're going to be very successful this year.
We do charge employers to participate at the job fair.
Right.
So can you tell prospective employers how much the fee is and where the money goes?
Okay, well, I've explained pretty much where the money goes.
Okay.
Fortunately, this year, the American Legion is also on our the Veterans Employment Committee, and they volunteered to use their facilities. So we don't have a cash outlay for the facilities this year. That's a savings. And what was your question again?
How much do we charge employers to
We're
participate?
charging the employers a meager $200 for the booth space, which is probably the lowest job fare, I think, anywhere.
How many, well, you said that so far we have 25 and we have room for 50 employers. Can you explain the type of employers that we're going to be having at this job fair?
Yes, we'll have a few employment agencies who also find jobs for people, and we'll have perhaps the FBI, we have the California Highway Patrol, and trucking industries, warehouse industries, Pinkerton, the security companies. I think we have one or two of those.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have my book right here at hand, so I can just look.
Discovery Zone, the new one.
Yeah, Discovery
Yes.
Zone is
Mhm.
also going to be in the job
Yeah.
fair this year. We're pretty proud of that. And I don't want to name any companies right now, but we're shooting for a couple of big names that hire a lot of people. And if I told you the name of the company, you'd say, wow.
The economy is really booming, and
Yes,
there
it
are a
is.
tremendous amount of jobs out there. So if you're unemployed and you're looking for work, please come to our job fair. Although it is billed as a hire a veteran job fair, it is open to the public and everybody's welcome. We just ask that you come prepared, that you bring a resume in hand, and that you're dressed and ready to be interviewed on the spot, because ladies and gentlemen, companies are hiring and they're hiring like crazy. So if you're looking for a job, come on down. Ira, can you explain a little bit more what happens, what some of the long-range goals of the VEC are to make life better for the veterans within our community?
Let me see if I get the gist of what the question is. Want to give you a little more specific?
Well, you did answer earlier about having purchasing steel-toed boots for a veteran who got a job as a carpenter. But what are some of the long-range goals for the VEC? Right now, we do conduct a workshop in our office where we teach veterans how to seek employment opportunities. And when the VEC generously provides lunch for all the participants in the workshop. These are some of our short-term goals, but in the future we hope to do more things with the monies that we have in our treasury. In fact, this TV show is a perfect example of one of the things that we're trying to do. The goal of the VEC is to outreach within the community to veterans who are unemployed and or seeking supportive services. As a veterans representative with the Employment Development Department, my job is not only to help place a veteran in a job that they're qualified to apply for, but also referral to supportive services within our county. Luckily, in San Mateo County, we have a very strong support network for veterans in this area. For instance, if they're in a crisis situation and they need assistance, we have this wonderful program that we work with called the Next Step Center that's down at the VA Hospital in Menlo Park. And they help veterans that either are going through alcohol or drug abuse or homeless, have a variety of transitional problems where they need to get their life back on track. It's absolutely a wonderful program. We also work with the Vet Center that's located in Redwood City. The Vet Center specializes in counseling veterans. And I do have a partner. His name is Jim Blank, and he's a Disabled Veterans Outreach Program Specialist, and he is outstationed at the Vet Center on Tuesday afternoons. And on Tuesday mornings and all day Fridays, he is at the Next Step Center at the VA Hospital in Menlo Park. Jim specializes in working with veterans that are in a crisis situation, and he does a great job in assisting veterans in getting back on their feet. We are always looking for opportunities to expand the awareness of veterans services within our county, because the bottom line is this: if we do not use the services that we have, that we as veterans are entitled to, ladies and gentlemen, we will lose those benefits. So what we are trying to do through the Veterans Employment Committee of San Mateo County is to link up veterans and for jobs and services that they need to get their lives back on track. I would like to mention that, personally speaking, I think I have the best job in the world because I am a veteran myself, and I work with veterans, and there's nothing better than getting a veteran a job, because sometimes they come into our office and they really don't know what to expect. And between Jim and myself and the other EDD staff that we work with, we really do try everything we can to assist the veteran in finding the right employment opportunity. We're very pro-advocate for the veterans. We do everything we can to assist them. Personally speaking, I went to school on the GI Bill, and it was because the American Legion lobbied Congress on behalf of that. This happened many generations ago, and it's one of the reasons why I joined the American Legion myself, is because I went to school on the GI Bill. And I wouldn't have the GI Bill if it hadn't been for the long-term vision of the American Legion, and I thank them for that. I would like to now introduce you to my good friend, Dario Brian, who is a personnel recruiter for a placement agency in Palo Alto called Accountants on Call. Daria specializes in placing not just accounting people on jobs, but she has a variety of industries that she works with, and I would like to introduce you to Daria. So Daria, can you explain to me what you do exactly, please?
Well, I, like Sheryl, find people jobs, and it's got to be the most rewarding job that anybody could ask for. And I happened to come across Sheryl by accident, but a very nice accident. I have never experienced, being, in an employee development department office before. And I thought, wouldn't it be a good experience to go and see? I heard that there are lots of candidates out there, and was very impressed in particular with the San Mateo office, and particularly also had a special connection with Sheryl, and I thought, great, what a great program. Lots of candidates available who are dedicated, hard workers, team players, reliable, energetic, just go-getters, people who need and want to work. And it's been the most rewarding experience. We've had, I can't tell you how many people I've placed from, the Veterans Service that Sheryl and her partner Jim has provided, as well as the Next Step Center, which is another great program. We have many success stories with that part of the Veterans Association.
Talking about success stories, could you give me an example of some success stories that you've had with our clients?
Sure, absolutely. My favorite one is actually the first veteran I placed with Sheryl, and when I met her that day in her office, Sheryl said to me, I have a guy, and he has been on my desk and with me for about a year, and he's great, he's energetic, he's got great skills, but he's a little bit down on himself. He, I guess, had went into retirement, and after about 5 years, decided that he was tired of sitting home and he wanted to get back into the workforce and was having great difficulty. And he came into my office, and his words to me almost verbatim were, I know you can't help me, nobody wants to place me, and so don't waste my time and I won't waste your time. And within a week, I have him at a client of mine, a Hewlett-Packard. He's had many raises, and now he's still working contract, but he's making over $50,000 a year. That's for somebody who swore to me I couldn't do anything for him. And he's been named our Employee of the Year as well, because he's done such great work. I've gotten nothing but great references. And he's probably my favorite. He's my first, and many other success stories as well. And it's also the type of personality. It's somebody who also calls up and once in a while and tells me a joke, or just a really warm, it sounds kind of corny, but fuzzy feeling of the people that we've gotten and placed through the organization.
Because we really do make a difference in people's lives, and it's
Absolutely.
really nice when they get a job. For me, that's the best feeling in the world. Is like It's like hitting a home run
Oh,
with all the
absolutely.
bases loaded. I mean,
Well-
everybody wins. And that's basically what the VEC is about, is we want to create a win-win situation for the veterans that live in our community. I know this is going to be the second time you're going to participate at our job fair.
Absolutely. When Sheryl told me about the job fair last time, I said, sure, great, I'm getting lots of people. I'm sure there's lots of people who don't come sit down with you or that will be at the job fair. I just cannot say how many people we've placed, not necessarily in accounting, but if I've got somebody who says, I can do purchasing or I could do customer service, and hey, it's a person who's willing to work, I pick up the phone, I call my clients, say, this is who I have, and they're ready to work, and they're ready to be there on time, and I can say I don't think I've ever had a problem in terms of, it's been nothing but success stories, and it's been the wonderful candidate base that I could, that I could use in terms of just people who are good workers, hard workers, reliable workers, team players, and I just can't say anything.
In the last couple of months, I've noticed in our office especially, there's just been an explosion of jobs. I mean, it's like the economy is picking up. This is how I know the economy is booming. We just have lots and lots of jobs. Can you tell me or give our audience an example of the type of industries that are just hiring like crazy right now?
Well, of course, high tech. I mean, we are in a high tech community, so software companies, manufacturing companies, distribution companies, service industries, biotech. I mean, we have, it's a very interesting market because I would say 2 years ago, we would have, 10 people and maybe one job, and they wanted to know, the employer said, I wanted to have somebody with a different software package, or 2 years at this company, I want somebody directly with these skills. Now it's become a candidate-driven market that if you're a good hard worker, I could place you, you pick where you want to work.
Oh,
I mean,
that's great.
It's a real change, a pleasant change. It's to everybody's advantage, especially the candidate, the veteran, anybody who's willing to find a job. It's out there. I mean, it has to be, I can say, the most unfortunate situation, but anybody who's willing to work, there's just so much available. And I mean, even the paper, if you look in the Sunday papers, the San Jose Mercury News or the San Francisco Chronicle, what used to be maybe, a couple pages of help wanted ads, I mean, now it's like a whole large section. So.
That's terrific. What is your average salary? Now, and also, since I'm on this, do you place people that are not computer literate as well?
Absolutely. We do have a lot of clients. Bottom line, we are in a computer, section of the world, high-tech section. So if you don't know how to do something manually, how can you not check it computer-wise? Computer's a machine. The most important things are manual skills. And the computer training, or that just comes with sitting down at the keyboard and learning how to log on and taking it step by step. So we place a lot of people who don't necessarily have, great software skills.
What is the average starting salary? I know that's hard to say because it depends on the skill level, but just an average for some of your clients who are computer literate. What is their average salary?
Well, I will say our office, we're a nationwide company, and in terms of, we are the highest office in terms of the country, in terms of an average, what we call as a bill rate or pay rate, which is, I believe, $5 higher than the national average. I don't even think we've ever placed anybody, lower than, $8.75 an hour. I mean, so most of our jobs that are coming in are, 12 up with some serious, skills and experience behind. We pay people up to $30 an hour, depending on the background.
Oh, that's super. That's really great. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're unemployed and you're looking for a job, we would like to invite all of you to participate at our Veterans Job Fair that's going to be held on March 20th at the American Legion Post 105 in Redwood City. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for viewing the first show of the VEC of San Mateo County. If you have questions, my name is Sheryl Shaffer. I work at the EDD office in San Mateo, and my phone number is area code 415-578-2931. Thank you very much. Also, I'd like to thank my panel guests for being a part of the first talk show of the Veterans Employment Committee of San Mateo County. I'd like to say it's a pleasure to work with all of you, and thank you for your volunteerism and on behalf of the veterans within our community. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Our pleasure, honey.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.